Chapter 1. The Sunday Showdown. It was a bright Sunday morning, and Petty Grandma was getting ready for church. Dressed in her finest hat and matching suit, she made sure every detail was perfect. But as she pulled into the church parking lot, she noticed Sister Jenkins had taken the pastor's reserved spot again. Grandma muttered under her breath, "Lord, give me strength not to say what I'm thinking right now." But everyone knew Petty Grandma couldn't resist a little shade. As she walked into the sanctuary, she greeted everyone with a smile and a side-eye for Sister Jenkins. Petty Grandma sat in the front pew, her posture upright, her hat tilted just right, catching the light from the stained glass. She kept one eye on the pulpit and the other on Sister Jenkins, who had settled comfortably in the pastor's reserved spot. As the choir belted out the old hymn, "I Won't Complain," Petty Grandma leaned in toward her grandson. "You see that?" she whispered. "She's singing loud now, but I bet she wasn't that enthusiastic when Pastor asked for volunteers last week. Some folks want the spotlight, but not the responsibility." Her grandson, trying to suppress his laughter, whispered back, "Grandma, you know everyone hears you, right?" Petty Grandma gave him a quick side-eye. "If the truth offends, then let it convict," she replied, adjusting her pearl necklace. When Pastor Johnson took the podium, he opened with a prayer about unity and humility. Petty Grandma gave a little nod, satisfied. She hummed, just loud enough for Sister Jenkins to hear. The service began, and the choir was in full swing. Grandma couldn't help but notice every little detail, from the off-key notes to the kids squirming in the pews. When the sermon started, she leaned over to her grandson and whispered, "Watch how Pastor Johnson ties this back to tithing. He's slick like that." Sure enough, the sermon wrapped around to giving generously, and Petty Grandma gave a knowing nod. After the service, she gathered her family for a quick pep talk, reminding them to walk in love and stay humble, even when tempted to be petty. After the sermon, the congregation rose to their feet, and Pastor invited everyone to greet their neighbor. Petty Grandma shuffled purposefully down the aisle toward Sister Jenkins, hand extended, a sweet smile plastered on her face. "Sister Jenkins, that sermon was right on time, wasn't it?" she said, squeezing the woman's hand a little tighter than necessary. "It's good to know we can always grow, even if we're stubborn as an old mule sometimes." Sister Jenkins gave a tight smile, her eyes narrowing just slightly. "Yes, we all have room to grow, don't we, sister?" Petty Grandma's smile never wavered. "Oh, absolutely. Especially those who think they're already in the promised land, just 'cause they snagged a good parking spot." As they parted, "Ways," her grandson whispered. "Grandma, you just blessed her and shaded her in the same breath. That's called balance, baby." "A little salt and a little light," she replied, patting his shoulder. As the family drove home, Grandma shared stories from her own childhood Sundays, reminiscing about how her mother had a similar sharp wit and loving heart. She explained how those experiences shaped her, teaching her the importance of standing up for what's right while never losing her sense of humor. Her grandkids listened intently, hanging on every word, realizing that there was so much more to their grandma than just the funny quips and sharp observations. As they headed home, her grandson asked, "Grandma, why do you always have a little shade to throw?" She smiled and said, "Because life's too short not to laugh, but remember, it's all about love at the end of the day." When they arrived home, Grandma went to her favorite chair, pulled out her well-worn Bible, and called the family together for a quick prayer. "Lord, thank you for this day, for family, and for the laughter that keeps us going. Help us to walk in love and keep our hearts light, even when life gets tough," she said, her voice a mix of strength and warmth. Shakyari. At home, Petty Grandma gathered the family in the kitchen for Sunday dinner. As the aroma of fried chicken filled the air, she shared more stories of her own church days when folks showed up early not to be seen, but to pray. "It's not about where you sit, but how you serve," she said, scooping mashed potatoes onto a plate. But sometimes the Lord needs to humble a few folks so they remember that. The family chuckled, and even her grandson had to admit that Petty Grandma had a point. As the meal wrapped up, Petty Grandma led a prayer, asking God to help them all serve with humility and love, even when it wasn't easy. That night, as her grandson helped her tidy up, he asked, "Grandma, do you ever worry that your words might hurt someone?" She paused, looking thoughtful. "Baby, the truth might sting sometimes, but if it brings you closer to living right, then it's worth it. Just make sure when you're correcting someone, you do it with love, even if it's wrapped in a little shade." With that, the family felt a renewed sense of unity, ready to take on whatever the week would bring, knowing they had Petty Grandma's love and wisdom to guide them. And so, the stage was set for all the adventures, life lessons, and hilarious moments that would follow in the chapters to come. And with that, the first chapter not only highlighted Petty Grandma's quick wit and sharp tongue, but also her deep-rooted belief that love, truth, and a little bit of humor go hand in hand.